You mentioned Jonathan Banks, first time in your corner. You had 22 fights with Abel Sanchez. How different was it to have Jonathan Banks in your corner?
You know, right now I feel like completely different because I come back to my knockout line, you know, I come back, guys.
You're 37 years old. How do you feel in the ring at 37?
I feel like a teenager, you know, like first deal, first time, you know, not first time in garden, just, you know, I like my people, you know, thank you so much who support me. Just thank you from Kazakhstan people who's coming, you know, just guys, this is present today for you, you know, just thank you.
You get the win, you shake off some of the rust. Who do you want to fight next?
You know, everybody knows. Of course, guys, I'm ready to September, I'm ready to Canelo. Just bring him, just ask him, I'm ready. Today I stay here, just please, guys. You know, just, if you want look big drama show, please tell him.
Do you believe that Canelo will fight you next?
I believe, because this is boxing business. Why not, you know?
You fought him twice. You believe you won both fights. It was a draw officially. You lost on the scorecards. Do you think you need to do anything differently if you fight Canelo again?
Right now I had good experience. No, of course, like third fight is more interesting. Probably he's coming to open, I come to open because we have a good experience both, you know, just next fight is amazing for us.
It's strange to hear you announced as a former middleweight champion. You were a middleweight title holder, you had 20 title defenses. Is it more important for you to beat Canelo or to get your belts back?
You know, I feel right now like a people champ. It doesn't matter for me, just, you know, just I want to beat him, it doesn't matter. Thank you guys, I told you, just thanks guys who support me, just I'm people champion.
If you fight Canelo, would it be right here in New York?
I want, guys.
Congratulations, Gennady.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you, guys.
Brian?
Oh, that's a lot of fun right there. Gennady Golovkin, come on, man, it's obvious. We know he's not even playing games. Gennady Golovkin with an emphatic knockout to end things here. However, he was getting touched early. Did we see a difference? Did we see signs of age decline? Or did we just see a man who was patient, Sergio?
No, it's inevitable that you're going to start getting touched the older you get. You're 37 years old, everything slows down, especially your reaction and your timing and your legs. But I don't think that was the case here. I think it was more inactivity, Brian. Like you mentioned earlier, this is the second most inactive streak. He got this out of the way. New trainer, the chemistry is building, but the big drama show returns.
There we go, all smiles there with his brother Max. Jonathan Banks, his new trainer, Gennady Golovkin there. I got a delightful interview. He's been delightful all this week through all the interviews that he's had. We'll go back to round 4 here. By the way, we are officially now in the post-fight show. We will hear from Demetrius Andrade. We'll hear from Maurice Hooker. Hear from Jose Ramirez. Those two will get it on, and Andrade will fight Maciej Sulecki coming up. He, of course, is at 160 pounds and has one of the belts, so a very interested observer. But Golovkin patient here as he started round 4, Sergio.
Yeah, very patient. We expected this. Jonathan Banks said that he didn't want to go out there and just seek and destroy like Golovkin is known for. He wanted to actually be patient. But because of that patience, Steve Rolls did have some success with the right hand and that 1-2-1 that he threw. But ultimately, he was getting timed by the stronger puncher upstairs and downstairs, and ultimately got the sensational knockout that he needed to get that trilogy and that fight with Canelo.
And look, the shot that started it all, you really have to point to Triple G's absurdly high boxing IQ. To throw a hook from over the top and then land it, to have the wherewithal to know, hey, this is the angle that will work, even though I throw my hook differently every day in the gym.
He tried upstairs, downstairs, he was trying everything. Then he remembered, wait a minute, I remember throwing a punch against Marco Antonio Rubio from up to bottom. It was that left hook that caught him on top of the head, and that throws everything out if you're Steve Rolls. There was no recovering from that left hook.
And watching round 4 here, what just happened at Madison Square Garden. Steve Rolls taking one round, according to one judge. We thought he'd won round 2 as well, and still able to fire back, land hooks, but it's Golovkin busy, and then comes up, there it is, the hook over the top that rocked Steve Rolls. From there, though, he still had to finish the job.
He still had to finish his job, and right here he lands the same punch again. He turns southpaw and lands an overhand left, Golovkin does, from the left-handed angle, and here it is. He's left-handed, boom, he's out.
Wow. Look, Golovkin here, to put it into the sports cliche, took care of business, right? A lot of pressure, comes in here, everything to lose against Steve Rolls. The only thing he had to gain was, hey, be impressive and make sure, I don't know, you don't look too great or too bad, because Canelo is watching. And we know Canelo can dictate his own future. He can say, hey, you know what? Callum Smith at 168. I could wait for Andrade. Maybe I fight someone else. Nothing says except for a basically public pressure and a mandate saying, hey, no, this is the fight to make. You know Triple G is out there. You owe him that third fight.
No, absolutely. Gennady Golovkin needed to steamroll through Steve Rolls, and he did just that. I mean, he knocked him out in sensational fashion. Canelo is watching, and if you wanted to make that trilogy, that's exactly what he needed to do, and he did it.
Impressive work. Golovkin here, again, humble as he leaves. Always pleased to be here in New York City, and it's a pleasure to watch him fight. Tested a bit by Steve Rolls. He made the most of it. Not quite an Andy Ruiz situation, but we didn't quite expect that either. Let's go back to Adnan.
All right, BK, thank you very much. Alongside Chris Mannix, who called the fight with you and Sergio and Sugar Ray Leonard. How about it, champ? I mean, listen, Steve Rolls did hang in there. I thought he had a couple nice punches, particularly in that second round, but no coming back from that left hook. What'd you think of the fight?
Well, he just broke him down, absolutely broke him down. He took his time, very tactical. He looked good, no question about that, against that competition. He just broke him down, went to the body, used his jab, got closer, and didn't stop throwing that left hook. And I don't know what that was up there, but it worked.
that shot against the temple certainly made an impact.
Okay.
Look, we saw it with Andrew Ruiz against Anthony Joshua. He landed a big temple shot that changed the entire course of the fight. Golovkin landed that shot, and I don't think, Ray, it was apparent immediately to Steve Rolls, or like the effect was immediate on Steve Rolls. But after about 30 whatever amount of seconds that passed, he was buckled by that. Golovkin finished him with different punches, but I believe that first punch was what shook him up. Look, I like Steve Rolls' game plan as a fan of the sport. I don't think it was the right game plan against Gennady Golovkin. Getting into a firefight with Golovkin, probably not the best strategy.
Definitely fan-friendly when you're trying to exchange punches with him. Let's take a look now at the highlights of this fight. And there's Steve Rolls coming in, the pride of Toronto. His biggest payday today, the biggest fight of his career against Triple G at 37 years of age, trying to prove that he is worthy of a rematch with Canelo Alvarez and Triple G Canelo 3 perhaps in the fall. And as far as the punches, early on here, Ray, you mentioned the body punches, but Steve Rolls, that was a pretty good shot there. He landed on Triple G.
Well, Steve Rolls also was a little unorthodox. Didn't really get the power that he could have generated because he would raise his foot off the canvas. Again, Triple G just broke him down.
We talked earlier, Chris, about the fact that Rolls is a body puncher, but it just didn't feel like he was able to exact enough damage to really inflict any true punishment.
Well, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? Like, you're going up against a destroyer like Gennady Golovkin, and you say, I'm going to body punch him. Okay, well, there's stuff coming back at you. That's pretty significant, and it hurts a lot. Steve Rolls went out there. He tried to get into a fight with Golovkin. I thought he gained some confidence in that second round. He landed some clean shots, but the one big shot from Golovkin reaffirms that he remains one of, if not the biggest puncher in the 160-pound division.
Another point that you were making earlier with me, Ray, is the fact that the jab is the easiest punch to throw and also the most efficient. And we saw that again with Triple G tonight, why he is so effective at doing that. He throws 10 jabs per round. CompuBox averages 4.7 for middleweights, and you can see why it's so effective for Triple G.
And the way he throws his jab, he really gets behind it with his power, with his speed. And he breaks his man down, he figures him out, drops that big right hand. The left hook, I love that left hook. In fact, that was my best punch, the left hook, but to the body.
Did you have CompuBox when you were around? Not so much?
Let's not talk about this. No, that was no CompuBox back then.
All right, there's other fights, of course, to look forward to. We'll talk to Demetrius Andrade in a little bit, but in the meantime, Chris spoke earlier to Maurice Hooker and Jose Ramirez. Looking forward to that fight coming up on DAZN in July.
Thanks, Adnan. Well, unification fights are what we look for in boxing, the best against the best, and we're going to have that on July 27th when this guy, Maurice Hooker, and this guy, Jose Ramirez, unify their 140-pound titles in Arlington, Texas, his home turf. He's going to enemy territory, and Jose will start there. I mean, you've built up a great following in Fresno. Anyone that's ever been to your fights knows how rabid your fan base is. How do you feel leaving that comfort zone and going into Maurice's?
Well, Verno,
What do you
first of all,
say again?
I'm so motivated. I'm looking forward to this opportunity to go out there and unify titles, and not just that. I mean, to be able to showcase my talent in a different venue with different crowds. That's part of becoming a superstar, So that's part of becoming a more experienced fighter. I did so well when I came to New York and fought Amir Iman, who was from upstate New York, for that WBC title. So, you know, I'm comfortable with it. You know, it's I don't pay attention to too much of who's promoted the fight, who's going to be in the venue. You know, I'm there to do my job, and I'm there to go after that second belt.
Maurice, ever since you won the title against Alex Saucedo, you've been asking for that homecoming. You've been a road warrior for the last couple of years, going to Terry Flanagan's territory, going to Saucedo's territory. How do you feel not only having a homecoming, but having probably the biggest fight of your career here?
I mean, it means everything to me. You know, I won my title in England. My fans wasn't there. Now I get the chance to try to win another title in Dallas, Texas, with everybody there, my fans, family, and everybody, you know, who support me in Dallas.
Let me ask you, Jose, you were ringside for his win against Saucedo. What did you think when you saw his performance?
You know, he showed that he was a true champion. I mean, he got up from the canvas after a knockdown, and you know, he showed he was a true champion. He stopped Alex in the few rounds afterwards. So, you know, that that made me know that, you know, those are the type of fighters that I want to face. You know, it's to be a part of this fight. So it's a dream come true for me. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. The fans should be very excited, and the fans should really respect the way the 140-pound division is playing out, because it hasn't been not even 2 years since Crawford vacated all 4 titles, and now you might see, you know, an undisputed champion again in the next 6 months.
You're a pressure fighter. How does his style match up with yours?
Well, you know, I started seeing more of his films, and he could fight coming forwards too. You know, he's not afraid to trade punches and to take punches and block punches, and he's long, so I'm sure that's probably when he does the best, is when he uses his range. But I have a great team. You know, I have Robert Garcia in my corner. I have a great. He has a great, you know, sparring partners ready for me, lined up to get me well prepared, and not just that. And in his gym, you know, we push ourselves and we motivate ourselves. So we're always ready for a 12-round, full of action fight. You know, and from the beginning of the first bout to the end of the last bout, I'm the type of fighter that it's not over until it's over. You know, I don't stop throwing.
Maurice, I'll ask you the same question. Have you ever fought a fighter that fights the style of a Jose Ramirez, and how do you think you'll fare against that style?
The closest I probably fought to it was Alex Saucedo, where being aggressive, come forward. But, you know, Jose Ramirez is different. He's smarter than Alex Saucedo, so I know I got to be on my game plan, and he can go 12 rounds fighting hard, you know. He go hard every round, so I got to be prepared, in shape, and willing to go 12 hard rounds to fight. I know he's aggressive, he coming. I'm not prepared to bag up. I'm ready to meet him in the middle of the ring and go toe-to-toe with him if I had to get my respect from him.
You won your last fight, but coming out of that fight, people talked about making the weight, how difficult it was for you to do that. Do things have to change in your camp? Are you planning changes to try to make the weight a little bit better this time?
No, the last time, my last fight was my fault. I'm not blaming my team. It was me. I was in my hotel room just relaxing and taking my time before I had to lose weight. You know, like, Merge, you got an hour left. I try to hop up and do a little quick jump rope, you know. That's my fault, you know. I learn as I go. You know, I won't never let that happen again. I'm gonna be on it, be more disciplined on myself and more hard. You know, hard on myself about that. You know, so be prepared for July 27th. It's a big fight for me in my career, a big fight for his career, and I know he coming. I'm gonna see the best of Jose Ramirez ever, and you're gonna see the best of Maurice Hook ever. It's gonna be a good fight. Like I said, I'm gonna meet him in the middle of the ring. Like, get my respect from him.
Jose talked about that Terrence Crawford vacating. He was the undisputed champion. How much is that on your mind as you enter this fight, the possibility of within the next year, one of you two being undisputed champion?
Right now, that's back in my mind, but I got to get past him first. But I think about that sometimes, but I only think, you know, getting my main focus, because he's in the way, you know, and he's a good fighter. You know, he was on the Olympian team. He undefeated. He's a world champion. He's a world champion for a reason, so I give him a lot of respect. I take this fight very seriously, but I can't even think about that right now because I got a tough fight coming July 27th on the Dazn.
You two teams kind of like each other. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
Well, you know, he's a family guy. You know, I was in Dallas yesterday and I got to see how he has his family with him. You know, he reminds me of me, the way I am with my family. You know, that's our team pretty much. You know, my family is our main team. Besides my coaches and my coach and my strength and conditioning, which I also see he has his coach and strength and conditioning with him all the time. So we're very similar. You know, we're just humble champions. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's something that I respect, the way he carries himself. and I'm looking forward to fighting a guy like him.
What do you think, Maurice? Kind of looking in the mirror here, or what?
Oh yes. I mean, he's a good fighter. I mean, we're both doing it for the same reason. You know, take care of our family, make a better, give him a better life, something that we didn't have. And he's respectful. I mean, he cool, but come July 27th, I'm pretty sure that cool stuff and all that's being friendly gonna go out the window. We're going to try to take each other's head off, and when the fight, let's be a ring, and be right back cool. Nothing but mutual respect. I'm taking my head out to him from trying to want to fight me, another world champion, undefeated, just like him. We both in our prime right now. It's the best time to do it. I mean, I respect him and his team for making the fight, and my team too.
Two champions in their prime, July 27th, live on Dazn. Best fight of the summer right now. Back to you.
That's right, Chris Mannix ain't lying when you talk to both those guys. Maurice Hooker, by the way, was a guest on Change Up earlier this week. He was at the Texas Rangers game, so he's all over Dazn. Just another thought about why that fight's going to be must-watch here, Chris.
Best against the best. Two top-tier guys, 140 pounds, crossing the political divide, and the winner of that fight could potentially be in a super fight against the winner of Regis Prograis and Josh Taylor, which would be the final of the World Boxing Super Series.
As you said, those guys seem to like each other as well, so clearly the animosity will just be in the ring. Right now, those special guests joining us as we continue with our post-fight coverage of Triple G and Rolls. Demetrius Andrade is here. Chris, take it away.
All right, Demetrius Andrade on the broadcast, the WBO middleweight champion. Demetrius, you watched Gennady Golovkin score a knockout victory over Steve Rolls. Your impressions on his performance?
I mean, listen, he did his job. He did what he needed to do against a, inexperienced fighter like Steve Rolls. I am the WB champion of the world, and if Triple G wants to fight a real guy, he has to come this way to make a statement, to really say he can sit there and fight Canelo. Like I said, he did what he had to do, and Canelo, I want Canelo next. I want Triple G next. I'm gonna take care of Sulecki come June 29th in my hometown, Providence, Rhode Island, and it's time for the elite guys to fight the elite guys. And at the end of the day, what we seen was cool, but come on, we want the elite guys to fight the elite guys.
Yeah, nobody can be claimed or can call themselves undisputed middleweight champion until they go through you and try to collect your piece of the title. But is it frustrating for you to have that piece of the title and consistently have Canelo be talked about against Golovkin, these middleweight fights, maybe even Canelo going up to super middleweight at some point?
I mean, yeah, of course it is. If I wasn't as good as everybody else perceived me as, or myself, and, I keep sitting there knocking on everybody's door, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight, I would have been the Steve Rolls tonight. They could have walked away with a belt, but that's not the case. And we can't continue to have these fights that we're watching be like the mega fights when you got guys like Demetrius Andrade that, is been in the game for a long time. I'm 27-0 with 17 knockouts, and it's like, what do we got to do to make this thing happen? We're all signed to Dazn, and there's no reason why after I do my job the 29th, I don't get in the ring with Canelo or I don't get in the ring with Triple G. Like, if that doesn't happen, Triple G and Canelo need to stop boxing.
You moved up, Demetrius, to become a full-fledged middleweight, to fight for a world title last year. You've had a couple of defenses since then. How much different do you feel at middleweight now than you did going into your first fight against Walter Cautandacqua?
Yo, Alto, Morano, Iguapo, baby. I'm tall, black, and handsome. I'm strong. I'm ready to go, and it's fun. It's beautiful. My boxing skills is unbelievable. I would just want to get it out there to the mainstream and just do what I've been doing. That's winning and getting in the ring with the guys who claim to be the best, because I feel like I'm the best, I'm the greatest, and I want that opportunity to showcase that. And it's unfair how everybody keeps mentioning Canelo or Triple G, but Demetrius Andrade is a champion for a long time. 2 different weight classes. What's the problem? 2008 Olympian. I did my job. I've been doing it for a long time, and now it's time for me to get in the ring with these guys, and at the same time, it's an honor for me and it's an honor for them, because at the same time, it's 2 great elite athletes going at it for boxing to be undisputed world champion in the middleweight division.
You've said repeatedly, Demetrius, that you've got to deal with the fighter in front of you. That is Maciej Sulecki on June 29th, live on Dazn. How has the training gone for that fight, and what kind of fight are you expecting from Sulecki?
I'm expecting him to bring his A game. I'm expecting him to come in to be his best, because that's what I'm preparing for. I'm preparing for his best. If he don't come in at his best, that's on him. I'm coming in here in the ring June 29th for Sulecki to bring me everything he has. And I'm doing everything I need to do to adapt, adjust, and destroy him.
You know, there's a chance, Demetrius, that Canelo won't have made a decision about his next opponent before the time you fight on June 29th. Does that enter into your mind, and it does increase the desire in your mind to be spectacular in a fight like this?
Listen, my job is just to win. My job is just to win, you know, to continue to keep winning like I've been doing. Does Triple G look spectacular tonight? I mean, that's what you want to call that? Then, man, you need to watch me more often. But, you know, listen, I'm going to do my job June 29th. Sulecki is a great fighter. He's a top 10 guy. His only loss was against Danny Jacobs. I know what he's bringing to the table, but he don't know what I'm bringing to the table. And so once that's all said and done and the smoke clears, it needs to be Demetrius versus Canelo for undisputed.
But Demetrius,
you don't get no better than that.
You have been around for a long time. You know how the game goes. And Golovkin was fighting an opponent that was certainly on a lesser level than him, but he came in knowing he had to score a big knockout to put himself in the running for that Canelo fight. Do you go into this fight with that same attitude?
I'm saying Steve Rhodes versus Mackie Sulecki, that's totally two different guys. Sulecki's a way better fighter than Steve Rhodes. So you can't sit there and compare them two. Could Mackie Sulecki beat Steve Rhodes? Yeah, of course. And he got in there and his only loss was just against Danny Jacobs. So you can't sit there and try to compare me to Steve Rhodes and Triple G at the end of the day, because Mackie Sulecki's a real fighter. He's not coming in to lose. He's coming in to throw punches. He's looking to win. Steve Rhodes didn't know what to do. He just wanted to get in there and see what happens, and Triple G end up doing his job because that's what was supposed to happen.
No, I 100% agree with you that Sulecki is on a different level than Steve Rhodes. It's more about, I'm just wondering if you want to be extra aggressive in a fight like this to make a statement that maybe Canelo and Golden Boy notice and they decide they want to go for the undisputed championship and not a third fight with Golovkin.
Hey, listen, with my looks and my skills, if I put him down in a spectacular way, I think Canelo would just run. I don't think he would want to do that. So, you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what's presented to me, whatever my opponent allows me to do, and I'm going to allow myself to do things in that ring to win and continue to win. And to fight Canelo is the object. Is to fight Canelo for undisputed. That's all that matters. Like I have Willie Nelson, come on, 12-round stop it. Brian Rose, Walter Conquandaqua, 6'4", hard-hitting, 17-0 with 16 knockouts. Arthur, whatever his name is, I whooped his ass, you know what I'm saying, with just a jab. It's time for the elite guys to fight the elite guys, and that's it, man. There's no more comparison. Let's put these belts up. Let's put Imano up, and let's make this happen. That's all.
Always good to talk to Demetrius. Always entertaining, my friend. Brian, we'll send it back to you. Downstairs with Demetrius' opponent, Maciej Sulecki.
Yes, we're speaking about Maciej Sulecki, who happens to be alongside us right now. Thank you, Demetrius Andrade, again on June 29th. It will be Sulecki against Andrade. Maciej, you tell us your reaction to Demetrius Andrade and what he had to say about your bout coming up on the 29th.
No, he talked about fight with GGG, with fight with Canelo. I'm here. I'm here. I want to be world champion. For him, this will be a very difficult fight. I'm ready on a very hard fight. And I don't know why he talk about fight with Canelo, with GGG. For me, this is very strange. I'm here, and I want to be world champion. This is my dream. I'm very determined. I'm very hungry. Success. And I will be for world champion.
Yeah, he is looking for bigger.
I will be fight with Canelo and GGG.
Yes.
Not him.
Yeah, no, there you go. I think he's aware of that you are going to be there and that you're a formidable opponent. What do you think of Golovkin tonight, Maciej?
Golovkin is good. This is very big puncher, yeah. But myślę, że było widać tą rdzę.
You can tell that he got the long break.
Podszedł zbyt lekceważąco do tego pojedynku, no ale siła wygrała. Tak jest to wielki puncher, wielki zawodnik.
It was not the best Golovkin. We saw it, but the power prevailed.
Maciej, did you see any signs of slowing down on Triple G? And if so, what can you do if you ever face a champion like him?
Czy uważasz, że to już nie jest ten sam? Czy widzisz takie momenty w nim, że nie jest tym samym pięściarzem? I co mógłbyś zrobić, wykorzystać przeciwko niemu, gdybyś walczył przeciwko Golovkinowi?
Yeah, I think this is not the same in this fighter. He have 37 years old, yeah, and I think about with Andrade. This is for me. This is very important fight. This is first him, and when I win this fight, I will be thinking about fight with GGG.
Maciek, how do you win that fight with Andrade? He can move, he boxes very well. How do you win that fight?
Jak wygrasz tą walkę? Potrafi się doskonale ruszać, potrafi zadać ciasy z różnych pozycji.
I am very smart. I am faster. I will be different fighter. Będę innym zawodnikiem niż z Jacobsem, niż z Rosado.
I will be different fighter
dużo
than
lepszy.
versus Jacobs.
Wiem, co muszę zrobić, żeby wygrać. On jeszcze nie spotkał na swojej drodze takiego zawodnika jak ja. On jest zawodnikiem mistrzem świata 2 kategorii wagował, a nie boksował z nikim specjalnym tak naprawdę. To jest dla mnie bardzo dziwne.
For me, the weirdest thing is that he was a 2-time world champion in 2 weight classes. Andrade was, but he never fought a really formidable opponent. Not the opponent like I will be versus him.
All right, Demetrius Andrade is still hooked up via satellite at his training camp, and I understand he's listening in there, very attentive. Demetrius, what did you have to say? We have Maciek Sulecki right here. Go ahead.
It looked like he been getting hit. He's prepared to get hit. I see you got a black eye going on right now. You know what I'm saying? You preparing to get hit, my friend?
He says he has a black eye. It looks like he's been getting hit a lot.
Wygląda, że dostawałeś parę razy po oku, bo masz siniaka.
Yeah, I am warrior. I am real warrior. I have great training camp, very difficult sparring partners, and I show in the ring.
Go ahead, Demetrius. Go ahead. Last retort. Go ahead.
Listen, I hope you are preparing to do what you need to do and bring the fight that you say that you're going to bring, my friend, because June 29th, I'm going to hit you with the uppercut.
Demetrius Andrade right there, June 29th. Maciek, there you go. You would like to answer one more? Feel free.
I want to talk that this is only talk. Now this is only talk.
God bless,
we
man.
will be fighting June 29 and be ready, champ. You are now you are champ, but you be ready on 100% because I will be ready on 100%.
All right, there you go. Demetrius, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the 29th. Maciek, thank you so much. We'll see you on the 29th as well. Maciek Sulecki, thank you so much. Let's go to Claudia Trejost. Claudia?
Coach, congratulations on a very impressive win. Let's go over the first round. It was kind of slow. What were you expecting?
First of all, thank you. Secondly, I wanted a little bit more of an upbeat, a little bit more of a rhythm, a little bit more speed. But again, we haven't been doing this for very long, so the next camp will be a little bit longer. We have a little bit more time, so the next fight he can come off right away, getting his rhythm. He got his rhythm right around the end of the second round.
Let's talk about that second round, because that was Rolls' round, really. He was very precise, he moved, and he made Gennady move. What called your attention?
Well, the whole thing, nothing really caught my attention to be like, I'm surprised. I knew what was going to happen because I knew that if you don't hurry up and get his rhythm, your opponent is going to automatically gravitate towards theirs and get theirs. And he started catching Triple G. He started connecting with punches that, me personally, I didn't like. I didn't like those punches he was getting caught with. So G looked at me in my eyes, came back. He said, I know, I see it. Because he knew what I was going to say. All I could say to him, I said, okay, you see it now, let's go get it. He went back out there, and he stuck to the game plan. He got in his rhythm. He started slipping punches. He started landing them. So I thought it was a good job.
Let's talk about head movement. We hadn't seen that in Gennady before. Did you bring that to your camp, or did he actually implement something he knew before? Did you just remind him of using his head?
Well, two things. Yes, I wanted him to move his head because I hate a sitting target. Any target, if it sit long enough, I don't care how good of a punch it could take. If it sit long enough, it's gonna fall eventually. If you keep touching it. So the goal is to get him into his own rhythm and allow him to start moving his head to get a more defensive presence in the ring. Because his offensive presence, everyone knows about it. But everyone also knows that his defensive presence is not too high. So the goal is to allow him to increase his defense and not decrease his offense.
Well, this is an impressive win. We saw new things in Gennady. But if you were to grade his performance tonight, what grade would you give him?
For the knockout, I give him A. But for the performance, he will get about a B&5.
Wow. So there's space for improvement.
There's always space for improvement. You know, once you get to a point where there's no room for no more improvement, then you got to hang him up.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for your time. Jonathan Banks, great win tonight. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.
All right, Claudia, thank you very much. An A on the knockdown, a B&5 on the rest of it. I think it's a B+, Ray, at least in the parlance of Jonathan Banks. What did you make? You want to give a letter grade to Gennady Golovkin's performance tonight?
I'm not being too nice, but A+. He did what was expected. I mean, the level of competition. He broke his man down and had him hurt. He took advantage of that, wore him down, and did what was expected.
So you think he did enough to warrant Triple G Canelo Part 3 in the fall?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd give him probably a B+ grade. I thought offensively he was excellent. He went back to the body in ways I haven't seen him go to the body since the David Lemieux fight. He finished it with a really strong knockout punch. He went over the top with that left hook. But defensively, there's some stuff to clean up. And if you're getting hit by straight shots from Steve Rolls, you're going to get hit by straighter ones and harder ones from Canelo Alvarez if you face him in the fall.
From O Canada to Woe Canada, as Steve Rolls gets stopped, as Gennady Golovkin was triumphant here at Madison Square Garden, getting it done in convincing fashion, perhaps setting the stage for Triple G Canelo 3. Great stuff from Chris Mannix and Sugar Ray Leonard. Of course, great fights coming up on DAZN. That's right, over 100 or more fight nights for under $100 coming up. We got Machida and Chael Sonnen coming up. That's June 14th. A little bit later on, a lot of talk, as you saw on the post-fight show with the very entertaining Demetrius Andrade and Maciej Sulecki. And then Maurice Hooker and Jose Ramirez. Chris Mannix speaking to both those guys. You can tell that's going to be a really fun fight. July 27th, brought to you by Matchroom Boxing USA. Well, just a week ago, people are still talking about what went down at Madison Square Garden. Behind the scenes, never before seen footage. It is coming up and premiering tonight from executive producers Meek Mill and Rock Nation about Joshua and Ruiz Jr., one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. Make that sports history. Relive it all coming up tonight on DAZN. And of course, check out the baseball show, which I'm a part of, Change Up. From 7 p.m. until 1 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. It's Red Zone for baseball. All the great games, live look-ins, and fun banter with hosts like Scott Rogowski and Lauren Gardner and Tony Lupp. And then the weekends with Sesama's Barbecue at 10 p.m. till midnight. Jake Mintz and Jordan Schusterman. Always a fun watch if you're a baseball fan. For behalf of Sugar Ray Leonard, Chris Mannix, Brian Kenny, Sergio Mora, Todd Grisham, LZ Granderson, Claudia Treus, our producer Dave Harmon, and our executive producer Matt Miller, and the rest of our outstanding crew. This is Adnan Burke saying thanks so much for watching the return of Gennady Golovkin. Good night from Madison Square Garden.